Hi, and welcome everybody to another edition of the Winner's Circle Sports Betting Podcast. My name is Ross Benjamin of RBWins.com, and it is Tuesday, August the 16th, and I got a free NFL preseason pick for you on Thursday's game between the Chicago Bears and the Seattle Seahawks. The game will take place in Seattle, 8 p.m. Eastern Time start. And currently, as we speak, the Seattle Seahawks are a substantial anywhere from a 5.5 to 6 point favorite, depending on where you're looking. In any event, that's a sort of a large number when it comes to NFL preseason handicapping. But boy, has the NFL preseason evolved. I mean, all you had to do is look at the Hall of Fame game and the week one results in the NFL preseason slate. 14 overs and 3 unders, folks. Boy, oh boy. Usually early on in the NFL preseason, under is the way to go, but it flipped the script last week. Didn't affect me because I won a perfect 4-0 against the spread in the NFL preseason. So that makes me 12-2 with my last 14 NFL preseason picks going back to last year. And since 2011, as documented by sportscapping.com, my NFL preseason picks are 66-46. That's good for 59%, folks. That's made my clients a lot of money over that course of time. Not to mention 4-0 this year in that 12-2 run, red hot streaks right now. In any event, let's get to the task at hand, and that's picking a winner in this game. And, here's the thing. There's two things that I've really focused my attention when it comes to NFL preseason handicapping. Number one is I really put a lot of emphasis on head coaching trends during NFL preseason action, much more so than during the regular season. And if you look, there's a lot of coaches that have good preseason records and some not so good. And, especially if you catch a coach that's been at a stop for a while, like a John Harbaugh in Baltimore, like a Mike Tomlin in Pittsburgh, Pete Carroll, who we're going to cover right now in Seattle. So, in any event, Seattle, by the way, under Pete Carroll, they were a really good play at home since Pete Carroll took over in 2010. However, that has waned a bit. As a matter of fact, since 2018, the Seahawks have gone just 3-3 straight up and 2-4 against the spread at home under Pete Carroll. And prior to that, they had been on an 11-2 straight up and ATS run in NFL preseason home games. So that speaks to me about one thing and one thing only. It's how gradually the quality depth on the Seattle Seahawks roster has began to dissipate to the point where it's at right now. I mean, all you have to do is look at Seattle's NFL regular season win total odds right now. I believe are at 5.5, which is substantially low for a franchise that's had a lot of success under Pete Carroll, but not so much last year when they finished I believe 6-11 or 7-10, one of those two. Not very good. Let's put it that way. All right, getting back to this game, and not only with the head coaching trend with Seattle and what I just mentioned, I like to put emphasis as well on my handicapping software at this time of year because, quite frankly, folks, at this time of year, it's always just about beating the number. But if you just concentrate on the number instead of what teams did the week before and how in putting stock into the statistics in that game, because the personnel and the player rotations change from week to week in the NFL preseason, as opposed to the regular season where you have a 53-man roster, 46 being active on game day. And right now, each team is still, I think they're at 83 now. So there's a lot of players to be evaluated and trying to find out. And the information, too, is not readily available like it was before, where you can go on each team's page and pretty much find out what the game plan is in terms of player rotations. That's not been the case as much over the last couple of years, and especially so since now they've gone from 3 preseason games to 4, or 4 to 3, excuse me. Before, when it was a 4-game schedule, week 3, automatically you knew it was going to be a dress rehearsal for the teams 95% of the time anyway, where teams were going to play their starters for at least a half or into the second half. And that's not the case anymore. Some guys last year did it in week 2, others in week 3. So it's not an exact science in that regard. So again, I lean on my handicapping software, which helped me go 4-0 last week. And Chicago was coming off a 19-14 win over Kansas City last week, and they did so as a 1.5-point home underdog. Conversely, Seattle is coming off a 32-25 loss at Pittsburgh, in which they failed to cover as a 2-point underdog. Since 1983, NFL preseason away underdogs coming up a home dog straight up win like Chicago is, and they're facing an opponent coming off a straight up loss like Seattle is, have gone 18-4 against the spread, and that's since 1983. That's pretty darn good, folks. It's enough for me, besides the fact that Pete Carroll at home has waned a bit from what he was at one time with a Seattle team. And again, I'm not going to bore you with the details there. The quality of depth just isn't what it used to be in Seattle. I'm going with the Chicago Bears plus the 6 over the Seattle Seahawks on Thursday, August the 18th. Again, don't forget, if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, I don't know why you wouldn't. It's absolutely free to do so. There's no strings attached. There's no subscription plans. And you're going to be privy to a lot of good stuff this upcoming football season. As right now, as we speak, Doug Upstone of DocSports.com will be joining me twice a week. And then also Sean Higgs every Tuesday from picksandparleys.net. And then Jesse Schul from sportsmemo.com, formerly of Covers, will be joining me every Friday. And we'll have plenty of free picks and plenty of discussion topics when it comes to football betting, whether it be in college football or the NFL, and the occasional Major League Baseball free pick. We can't forget about baseball. Still a lot to be played. Until the next time, for Ross Benjamin, check me out at rbwins.com. That's my site. And I hope each and every one of you have a very lucky upcoming weekend. Good luck and God bless, folks.